Hey, I'm here at the coffee house today with my friend Jeff. Jeff's a teacher here in Vietnam, and we're going to talk about teaching during the pandemic. Jeff, how long have you been teaching here in Vietnam?
Oh, it's a good question. Yali and I were just talking about that the other evening. I guess it's somewhere between 4.5, 5 years now that I've been here in Vietnam teaching.
Oh wow, doesn't seem like it could possibly be that long.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem that long.
The pandemic started about a year ago, I guess.
Yeah, it did. There was about between 2 and 3 months where everything was closed down. All the schools, English centers, even the universities, everything was closed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that pretty much shut you down, right?
Yeah, it did, yes. Yeah, there was between 2 to 3 months where all the schools, even universities, were closed here in Vietnam.
And then they reopened
And then it was a slow, gradual process of reopening. They started with the one level of school, and then they opened another part of the school. Reopening, yeah.
Right.
It was sort of a gradual process.
But you didn't go back to the private schools, right?
Stopped going to the in-session classes because I found something that pays pretty much as well as that, and it's a lot easier to do.
Oh, you can work from home.
Work from home.
And are you teaching Vietnamese students?
No, I'm teaching, actually, most of the students I'm teaching are either from Hong Kong or Taiwan, and some Chinese.
Right.
It's a Chinese company, but for whatever reason, I've been centered more on Hong Kong and Taiwanese students.
I see. The schools, were there a lot of schools that teach online to choose from, or did?
Yeah, there's quite a few different platforms that you can choose from, and they use different means of doing it. Some even just, you can have your cell phone and use that, or a tablet. Some a little bit more sophisticated, you need to use a computer.
So you had three or more schools to choose from.
Quite
right?
a few, yeah.
Quite a few. So how did you select the one that you finally chose?
Well, I was using a Linux computer at the time, and there's only one that really, their software was compatible with Linux. All the others you had to have Windows. Now it makes no difference. I've changed my computer since then, and now I'm using a Windows computer.
Right.
But back then, the one that I'm working with now is the one that was using.
Oh, okay. So
accessible for Linux.
You started off on Linux, then they moved, or you were able to move to Windows.
Right.
So
yeah.
would you buy a new computer, or?
Yeah, I got a new HP computer, and it's got a nice high def resolution, so it's much nicer to look at on
Right.
the screen.
And
And I'm very happy with it.
For hardware, do you have to add any hardware to the computer, or can you just use the?
Everything as is. The video camera built into it was more than adequate. Actually, it's a widescreen camera.
Yeah.
Which maybe can be a bit of a problem. You got to make sure your background is covered properly.
Well, now I know you're still teaching at one of the schools here.
Yes.
Why are you doing that? With the online teaching so good, why are you teaching at a live school? You just enjoy it, or what?
Actually, I do. I do miss, like right now, the schools have been closed for TET, and then they extended it to the end of the month. And I do miss the interaction, the direct interaction
With the students.
But I've built some relationships online too, so some of them I really enjoy.
So you have regulars then?
I have actually most of my classes now online are regulars, people
Wow.
that I've taught before.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason why I'm still in the school here, I still need to have a permit to be here.
Oh yeah, visa situation.
So the school, they work with me. They help me they do the paperwork, I just pay for it, and I get my TRC and my work permit.
Yeah, so you actually have residence card instead of a visa, a
That's
regular
right.
visa.
Yeah, no visa at all, just a card, TRC.
TRC.
Temporary residence card.
Is it easy to schedule the live school with online?
Oh, quite easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No problem there.
my school here, I have a regular schedule, so I can just do my scheduling for online around that.
Okay, so you can just block those times.
That's right.
Oh, that's good.
And when I found out that the schools were going to stay closed for another 2 weeks, I just opened up a few more time slots on those days when I was supposed to be at Bay.
Right.
And sort of covered that.
I'm trying to visualize teaching online. It's kind of hard. Do you have a certain place in your house where you sit to do it, like a set or anything? I mean, chalkboards or anything like that?
Yeah, we do have a place set aside for it. You have to have, a proper background. It
Right.
can't just be, you can't have kitchen in the background with dirty dishes and stuff like that. Basically, they want you to have a clear background.
Right.
And you can put your own artwork up on it.
Oh, okay.
It used to be that when I first started, you had to put their background on it, and it had, say, iTutor Group all over the place. Then all of a sudden they came and they said, we're doing a rebranding, so get rid of it.
So no iTutor now.
No more. Now it just, I got a beaver holding a flag, a Canadian flag, and my name underneath it. Well, why not? Canadian
Yeah,
beaver.
Canadian, that's right.
And a couple of dolphins. There's numbers and the alphabet with the dolphins. And some of Yali's artwork. She did all the artwork for it.
I know that the hardware and stuff all works pretty good for you and all that, but how about the interaction with the students?
I go down the slide.
I go down the slide.
Good. I play on the monkey bars.
I play on the monkey bar.
See the girls on the bars. They hang like monkeys.
Monkey.
So we call those monkey bars.
Monkey books.
How do they know if you're doing a good job or if they're doing a good job? Who grades who?
Both. The students or their parents will grade you, and you grade the students. You don't get paid if you don't give feedback.
Oh, really?
That's right.
So you have to get feedback from them.
No. You don't get paid if you don't give feedback to the students.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. But
And they give feedback to you also.
for me, my average is about 60% of the students give feedback.
Okay, but they do grade you, right?
Many
Yeah.
don't.
Really?
They don't give any report, and that doesn't matter. That doesn't affect anything then.
Okay, well, what does affect your
Well-
performance?
When they give you if you get 10s, then your average goes high. You need to keep, if you want to stay on the platform, you have to keep an average of 9.5 or
Okay,
higher
and these 10s come from the students?
from the students
From the
or their
students.
parents. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And if you get just 9s, which is actually a pretty good score, but if that's all you get and your average becomes 9, they're going to probably put you on probation.
Of course, you're competing with other teachers for those students too.
There's teachers from all over the world. Right
Really?
now, there's a lot of teachers, especially from Europe and America, because a lot of schools are closed.
Yeah, a lot of teachers available right now.
Yeah, those are the same teachers that are voting to say, I don't want to go back to school.
Yeah, they probably don't want to go to work in the U.S. because they're getting paid, plus they can make money online too. So
Probably.
yeah, double dip. I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'd be looking at that if I were, teaching in the U.S. The unions are making sure they're getting paid, that the teachers there are getting paid. So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that. In Canada, the schools are back in and people are going to school. So.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, but I guess they have their reasons, mainly unions and politics.
Politics.
Yeah, politics is
Big
everything.
P, politics.
So, do you, in the future, do you plan to stay with online teaching, or would you prefer to go back to classroom teaching?
Well, for the time being, I'm going to continue as I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah, like I say, there are times when I feel like I really kind of miss, the face-to-face.
Yeah.
And
I know I would.
The interaction when you're right there with them is good. But you get that too with the kids online. Mm-hmm. I've got a lot of regular ones now, and you build up a rapport with them. It's interesting.
Well, they're all used to being online, and so they're real natural.
Yeah.
It's not like something unusual to them.
Yeah. I've got one. She's 5, just turned 6 years old, and first time that I had her was her first week starting, so she was like new.
Right.
So everything is, you're doing a lot of hand movements, and you say this and then you go like this so that they know that they need to repeat what you say and all of that. We went through all of that, and I had my puppet and all that, and now she's up to level 2, and now when she comes on, she says, "Teacher, it's like, I'm not her only teacher, but she recognizes very quickly her teachers, and it feels good.
So but the students, I mean, do they select a teacher every time, or do they stay with the same teacher? How does that work?
Sometimes, well, if they give feedback, and if they give you a 10, then the computer records that, and the computer, when it's doing the scheduling, will tend to push the ones that give you a 10.
Push them towards you.
Right.
Right.
The students can also give you a heart.
Right.
And that says that you're a favorite. And then when they go on, they can say, "I want my favorite," and it will then go through the list who they've given hearts to.
And should let them choose from that list.
I've got one. He's got a bit of a learning disability. He's an 11-year-old from Taiwan. Interesting. His mom and dad, they're both pilots for the Taiwanese Air Force.
Wow.
Yeah. I just found that out when we were talking about families.
Hey, Jeff, I know you got to get back over to the house because you have some classes this afternoon. I was curious, though, what your plans are for after the pandemic winds down a little bit.
Go back to school in a week's time. School's reopened, so I'll be back doing that. I'm planning to just continue doing what I'm doing for the time being. Well, eventually the day may come when I may end up going back to the Philippines. Yoli and I'd like to be able to start up a business there. We have a few ideas that we want to pursue. I've been saving up some money for that, and I could keep doing this while I'm there as well. It'd make a good side income, just picking up a few classes, a week or a few classes a day.
I kind of have to be there when I do my stuff. Haven't figured out a way to do remote photography yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming up and talking about this. I know a lot of people are interested in teaching in Asia and planning on retiring here, things like that. So I think any information we can give them is really helpful.
Maybe one suggestion might be, before coming here and trying teaching in a classroom, do some online classes, back in your home country, and get a feel for it first. See if this is something that you're comfortable to do.
And then just bring it with you when you come.
That's right.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, you'll be here like the day after, and it'll only be like 2 days, and you can be back online with your students.
That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But no, I think it's pretty interesting. Of course, I have thought about online teaching, and I've thought about teaching here, but I kind of like what I'm doing, so I better stick with that. Probably with my accent too.
Actually, no, accent isn't the issue. I was listening to a training video from this platform, and this teacher couldn't even pronounce TH correctly. You know, everything was dis and dat, not this and that. They're not concerned about that degree of the speaking, so I am. I make sure my students say it right, but even the British accent, you know, if you're not used to it, is
Yeah,
pretty strong.
it can be difficult.
Sure.
Yeah. I remember the first time I was ever in England, and I had to ask directions from a police officer, and he had a British accent, and he also had false teeth that were a little loose, and it was pretty hysterical. Couldn't understand the thing he said.
There's a lot of flaws. Even the people that operate the platform that I'm working for, they make all kinds of mistakes in terms of plurals, for instance. There are some nouns, they're not countable. You know, they talk about all the different kinds of foods, or they talk about the equipments. You know, we don't use that type of terms, but they seem comfortable with that.
Well, Jeff, I appreciate you showing up for this little interview.
Sure, no problem.
We'll try to get together maybe in a couple of months and see how things have changed.
Well, hopefully we can do it before a couple of months.
Okay, good.
At least do some more coffee or go
Well,
to meet one.
absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
All right. Well, this is JR, the expat in Saigon. If you enjoyed this little video and got something out of it, I hope you'll do the thumbs up. Appreciate a like on that. And thank you all for watching.
First section is